Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is November 1st, 2025. Good afternoon from Delaware. It's a Saturday afternoon. It's about 1 o'clock here in Delaware. How are you guys? This is Lucy. The channel is Lucy Mwangi USA. Thank you guys for joining us. I know I didn't announce or post that I'm going to be live today, but I have a little bit of time today so I can go live and talk about a few things. Today, as we wait for people to come on, people to join in on TikTok, we are live on TikTok and we are also live on YouTube. Hopefully, this is not going to be a very long live. I appreciate you guys joining in from wherever you are. Let me know where you're joining from. On TikTok, as you're coming in, share the live, share the link, and on YouTube as well. So today is the 1st of November. A lot of people are asking, when is the DV lottery going to be open? Up to this day, we don't have an answer to that. First of all, let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I don't want to have a repeat of what happened last time. I don't know what mic I was using, but you guys couldn't hear me initially for the first like a whole minute or two. So I don't want to waste all that time. Just let me know if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up, please. Wherever you are on YouTube, on TikTok, thumbs up. If you can hear me, let me know. Tap on the live. Let me know, please, before I go on. Can you hear me? Is the sound good? Ishmael Sana, can you hear me well? I'm good. How are you? How are you? Where are you guys from? Where are you guys? Give me a thumbs up, guys, so I know you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you on TikTok. YouTube, can you hear me, you guys? Thank you, my sound engineers. You're the ones that take care of my audio to let me know that you can. Shiko, thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know. So today we're going to talk about a few things. One of the things that has been circulating, and I haven't had a chance to talk about it, is the fact that, well, it's not a fact, is the rumor that there is a medical required prior to entry for 2027. So I don't know where this rumor started or when it started. It was somewhere, I think, last week. And there is something that was circulating on social media that you'll be required to have a medical exam prior to entry. First of all, today is November 1st. Nothing has been announced about the 2027 DV. The entry dates have not been announced. The requirements have not been announced. So I don't know what the source is for that information. So nobody has clearly come out and said, unless you guys know something that I don't know, nobody has clearly come and shown us like a government website that says, this is what you're going to be required to do moving forward. So I haven't heard, I haven't seen anything on travel.state.gov, on any government websites. I haven't seen anything saying that a medical is required. First of all, let's try to make sense of that. Does that even make sense? Is it feasible for the United States government to require millions of people to do a medical exam for something that there's not even assurance of? The other thing is you need a case number. When you go to the medical exam, you need your case number as an identifier. You need your passport. You need all these things. You need to schedule with a government selected provider. So at what point will you do all this prior to you entering the DV program? Does that even make sense? Guys, let's talk about this like reasonably. Let's try to think through it. Does it make sense for you to go for a medical exam just to join a lottery? So when you go also, you're required to pay a lot of money. Depending on the country, it could be between $150 to $300 per person. So does it make sense for you to pay all that money? And where are you paying this money? And why would the government be asking you to pay all this money prior to entering a lottery? At least after you've been selected, they know that these are the people that we have randomly selected within the required number of people that are supposed to come to the US every year. So that's about 55,000 minus maybe 1,000 or 2,000 for other categories. But it wouldn't make sense for the US government to require millions of people who enter the DV lottery to go for a medical exam. So unless somebody comes out and shows us a website, a legit website that says, you guys from 2027 DV, you're going to be required to do a medical. I'm not going with that rumor. So if anybody else has any evidence, you guys, we can chat on this live. What is it that you guys are hearing from wherever you are, and where are you watching from? Ishmael Sane, how are you doing? I'm good. So you guys, Samueli, you can hear me. Testimony, you can hear me. Thank you. Wali Ibrahim, I'm from Garissa. My case number is 5400, and I received my 2NL last week. My interview is on the 19th of December. Congratulations. That's what I like to hear. I like to hear good feedback. I like to hear people's processes. I like to hear what is going on in different parts of the world. I appreciate you giving me that feedback, because that lets me know what's going on with the DV program, especially for 2026. Lots of people have a lot of questions about what is really going to go on with the government shutdown, with everything that is happening in the United States. We are on day 31 of the US government shutdown. I don't know how long this is going to go on, and I don't know if eventually it's going to affect the DV program, but we take it one day at a time. We continue to wait. For those of you asking if the DV program is open, it's not open yet. While you're asking, are you supposed to go for medicals as early as now, please? If you read your second notification letter, it has information. It tells you to do your medical as soon as you can. Typically between 2 to 3 weeks prior to the interview date. So by now, you should plan on going for your medical in November. We're already in November. I still thought it was October. We are already in November. So I would look at my 2NL really well, the email that you got, the notification that you got that told you where to go for your interview. It had the interview date, the time, and the location. So I would look at that really closely and see what other instructions are given. A lot of people don't read instructions when you get this correspondence from the US government or from wherever. Read carefully, follow the instructions. Okay, so I'm sure there is somewhere that tells you where to go for your medical. So book an appointment, and it tells you what to do. And today we're going to go over the IOM website and see how you can book your appointment. So stick around, guys. Stick around. That's what we're going to do today. I appreciate you joining me this Saturday afternoon. I know you got things to do. You don't have to be here, but I appreciate you being here. Ismail, yes, we can hear you live in Sierra Leone, West Africa. Thank you so much. Shaista Watan, when is DV 2027, please? I don't have the dates. And I don't have a WhatsApp group either. Agnes Macharia, when does the DV open this year? So we don't have a date. That's what I was just saying. If we look at the electronic diversity visa website, it's still not showing anything. So let me try and share the screen so you guys can see. There's nothing really going on. That's why I haven't been live the whole of last week, because there's really nothing to report. As you can see, the diversity visa program visa entry page, the one that we usually go to, dvprogram.state.gov, is still saying the same thing. It's saying the entry period for 2026. No information about DV 2027 yet. So as we continue to wait, what things are you doing to prepare yourself? Because we don't have a date yet, that doesn't mean that there are not things that you can do proactively to prepare yourself for the DV lottery. So number one, we don't know whether we are going to need $1, but I would keep that dollar somewhere. I would have it ready for me and my derivatives, because it doesn't specify whether the $1 is going to be per entry or per applicant or per derivative. So I would keep that money somewhere. I would have that. And then the photos for you and for your loved ones or whoever you are adding to your entry. Okay, so that's what I would do. I would get the documents ready. Just start preparing. Just act like you're already planning to enter as soon as they announce. Have your know where your KCSE certificate is if that's what you're going to use. If you're going to use work experience as the way of entering the DV, make sure you know where these things are. If you need letters from your work, make sure you get that certify with a letterhead that you have been working there and the qualifications and your job description, how long you've been working there. Things like those. Know whether you're married or you're single. Okay, let me rephrase that. Know how you're going to enter. Are you going to enter as married or as single? And remember, come we stay does not count. So are you going to enter as a married person or as a single person? Do you have intentions of getting married? Because if you have a girlfriend and you know in your heart that you want to marry this person or vice versa, a boyfriend, then it's better to get that stuff done before you enter, because later on it's going to be, if you get married later, there might be questions surrounding whether or not you got married for the DV or what. You know what I mean? So if you're married, make sure you enter correctly. Put that you're married. Don't put that you're married and then later on you say that you're not married, because those are grounds for disqualification. Honesty is key. Make sure you're telling the truth. If you haven't gotten married and maybe you won and legitimately, sincerely, honestly speaking, you got married after that you won the DV, then that's a different case and you can add your spouse later on. All right. So those are things that you can do. Those are things that you can do. Shaista is saying, help me travel to USA. We are talking about ways to come to the US. So I hope you're paying attention. You can also go to the travel.state.gov and see different visas that bring you to the US and see which one is appropriate for you. Not everybody who wants to come to the US will eventually come to the US, but there are many channels, there are many ways of coming. The DV lottery is one of them. So, and that's why we are having these videos and updating you on maybe a weekly basis and whatnot, to make sure that you get the information that you need. Somebody, I think on the last live, said that they made a mistake on their entry the last time, so they didn't know what they were doing, and now they've been watching videos, they know what to do, they're ready to apply. So equip yourself with the information, make sure you know what you need to do. All right. So on TikTok, lots of questions about is the DV open? No, the DV is not open yet. We're still waiting. We are still waiting. Somebody said they landed in the US safely. Who is this? Dennis? Dennis, are you in the US? Are you new in the US? What DV program are you? Are you 2026, 2025? What's going on, people? Let me keep me updated. See, still waiting for visa bulletin 2026, case number 18K. All right. Yeah, let's keep waiting. The visa bulletin for the next one hasn't come out, so we'll look out for it around the 15th of this month. So once it's published, we'll do another video about it. Thank you guys for joining. JC, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys. The big, somebody says the big truth is that DV Lottery 2027 has been canceled. Who is this spreading rumors? It has been delayed. It hasn't been canceled. So show us where it says that the DV, show us that government website that said the DV program has been canceled, and we'll see. So we want verifiable information about the medical. I know there were so many videos last week, but it's not verifiable. If you have information and updates, we appreciate you sharing the updates, but we want verifiable information so that we are not just spreading lies on social media. We don't want to mislead people. We don't want people's anxiety levels to go up. People are already anxious because today is November 1st and the entry dates have not been announced. If you compare with last year, by now, I think the last day was November 7th or November 4th. So by now, the program would entry period would already almost have ended. So you can imagine people are anxious. People don't know what's going on. So it doesn't help to add. It's like adding salt to a wounded injury. You know what I mean? So if you don't have verifiable, that's my advice. If we don't have verifiable information, let's not spread it. The other thing is, and I'm asking you guys because you're the ones on the ground, you're the ones in different countries, you're the ones visiting different embassies. There's a text that I got yesterday, and I can't really verify it, but it was somebody was saying that now we're going to have 3 different appointments. That the first one you have to go to the medical, and then there's another one for document verification, and then there's the visa interview. Have you guys heard about that? I heard it yesterday. Somebody sent me this long text. I don't remember who it was, but there was this long text about an update for the medical and the interview process. It has now changed, and that was for Nairobi. So if you guys in Nairobi, if you have attended a recent interview and you have gone for the medical, has the process changed? Do you have to go for an appointment that is just for document verification? Or is document verification still part of the actual interview? Because according to that text, they were saying that now you go to the medical and then you go for another interview to verify your documents, and then you go for another for the actual interview. So who's paying for this? Is there any additional cost? Like, what's going on with that? I cannot verify it. I just wanted to share it with you to see whether that is actually something that is happening or ni stories za jaba. Sijui. I don't know. I don't know whether it's just jabberation. Ishmael, I think it's the shutdown of the government. That's why up to now, 2027 is not yet out. It could be, or it could be that they don't have the processes in place yet. In order for us to pay the $1 fee, they have to do a lot of reshuffling, a lot of adjustments to their website. Maybe that's what it is. They're trying to maybe install or come up with a way that everybody in the whole world will be able to pay that $1. It is not something that is easy. It's not something that they can do like very quickly. Maybe they're trying to change the verbiage on the website to fix the areas that say it's free to enter. It could be a whole wide range of things. The only thing that we are certain about as of November 1st, 2025, is that the DV lottery is for 2027 is not open yet. But we can speculate all day, but without going to a website and checking to see the updates from the official government websites, we really don't have concrete information. There's nothing on the website that says otherwise, travel.state.gov. There is nothing that states otherwise. Yeah. Okay, so shikuwa anasema hizo ni stori za jaba. There's a lot of speculation this year about the DV. It's true. I think when there's no information, when people don't know anything, they try to fill that vacuum instead of just waiting patiently to see what's going to happen. Okay. Agnes Masharia, what's the website again with different visas, ways to travel to the US? It's travel.state.gov, travel.state.gov. And then there's a section for US visas. And you can just take a few minutes to read about it. And you can see one that could work for you. There are so many different visa types. It's not just B1, B2. It's not just student visa. It's not just fiancé visa, marriage visa. There's so many types of visas, and DV is just one of them. It's just that I concentrate more on the DV diversity visa. But there are so many other different kinds of visas: business visas, investors visas. If you have the chums, kama uko na do, if you have money, you can invest in the US government and get a visa in the US, in the whole US, not just the government. But yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Since our title today is about is a medical exam required during entry, let's quickly talk about the medical since we are already here. Let's talk about the medical, and we are going to use an example of Kenya. So after you get your second notification letter, you read it carefully. It tells you that you have an appointment scheduled for such and such date at such and such a time, and follow these instructions. You're supposed to attend your medical prior to going to the visa interview. So up to today, the information that we have still remains the same. The medical examination is not required prior to entry. The medical exam is required prior to you going for the US visa interview. All right, so we are clear up to that end. So you're given options of the required or the selected providers to go to or physicians to go to. If you have had like vaccinations before, you can bring your record. You can bring that medical card that has your vaccination records, and they can see whether they are still valid or do you need to get more vaccinations. If you have your vaccination record, it will reduce the amount of money you're going to pay, because then you won't need as many vaccinations or as many exams as if you didn't have anything. Okay. And then the payment depends on the age, your age, if you have family, what are the ages of the kids and all that. So we're going to go over that. Once you select for Nairobi, actually it tells you for Kenya, it's only IOM. That's where you go. It's only one place. And it tells you the address and the phone number. And it tells you to schedule your medical. It actually tells you the things that you need to bring. So let me pull up the IOM website and we'll see whether we can do something with that as an example. All right. So once you receive your 2NL, that's when you get that information that you're supposed to go and schedule your medical appointment. So let me go back here and see if we can do an example of, let me share the screen. On TikTok, I'm sharing the screen for IOM. All right. You can create, if you guys can see now, I'm on the website. You can create an account, which is easier because then you can see all the information that you need there. It tells you, I had already started, doing a sample of it. So it tells you to select your appointment. So IOM is the only one available. So in other countries, I think like Ghana, you had options of two places that you can go, but Nairobi is only one. So you're supposed to select your country and then you select the medical place that you're going to go. So we've selected IOM, and I've selected a random date. So 6th of November, 2025. It gives you options for time. Yeah, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock is taken, 10 o'clock is taken, 11 o'clock is not taken. So you select the time that you want, and then you continue. First of all, it asks you what country, on the prior page, it asks you what country you are born, where were you born, and where are you going, the country of destination. And what is this kind of visa? Is it an immigrant visa or non-immigrant. So ours is an immigrant visa. That means we are planning to travel to the US without coming back permanently. And the travel type is permanent migration. And then Migration Health Assessment Center is IOM, Nairobi. It tells you the address, 78 United Nations Crescent off UN Avenue, Gigiri, and that's the code 00200. It gives you the phone number, and then which is 254-70989-0000. And then there's a website, IOM Nairobi NBO medical at iom.int. And then it says you have scheduled your appointment for 11 a.m. on Thursday, November 6, 2025. And then it asks you how many people are going to come to that appointment. So for me, I said myself, and I'm assuming that I have a child and I'm not married. So it's just one child. So depending on how many family members you're adding, then you say you have whatever number of people that you're going to bring. So it's important that you bring the people that you say you're going to bring for that medical. Okay, so we have selected that. Let's see if he's going to let us go on. Maybe not. But after that, it tells you how to pay. So the payment is due. The payment, let me stop sharing. The payment is due when you go to IOM. That's when you pay. So you can pay through, you can pay by cash or you can pay by M-Pesa. They give you the rate. They give you the current exchange rate. So if it's going to be $100 or however amount is going to be, the exchange rate, if it's today's, on that day, let's say, the exchange rate is 128 shillings for $1. That's the number that you're going to use to pay them. If you're paying through M-Pesa or you're paying through by cash, make sure you have that amount for you and for everybody else. So the other thing that you can get information about, if you go to travel.state.gov and under US visas, you can type medical examinations, frequently asked questions. And this does not necessarily mean for the immigrant visa. It's also for other visas, but it's good to know general questions like what do you need to know about it, that you can have an idea of the expectations when you go there. We can go over some of the questions. Are children required to have chest x-rays or blood tests? And it says that they are not usually required for children under the age of 15. So if you have kids and they are less than 15 years, then they're not required to have blood tests and chest x-ray, although they will need to have their vaccination records. What if the applicant has an intellectual or learning disability? They're saying applicants with an intellectual or learning disability must present a report of their condition and any special educational or supervision requirements. What is the legal basis for requesting medical information for visa applicants? Visa applicants, not DV lottery entry applicants. It's for visa applicants, people that have already been selected and they're now looking for a green light to enter the United States. They're not looking for a green light to apply for the DV. So the visa applicants are the only ones that are required to do a medical. So we have already sorted that issue out of needing a medical before entering the DV. Medical eligibility is a requirement of INA Section 22, 212A and 221D. Failure to provide required information may cause delay or denial of immigrant visas. If an immigrant visa is not issued, all medical eligibility forms will be treated as confidential under INA Section 222F. So I don't know if I'm sharing that with you so you can see what I'm looking for. I'm looking at travel.state.gov. Let's see. Medical exams, frequently asked questions. We talked about children not being required to do chest x-rays or blood tests, and the legal basis for requesting medical information for visa applicants. What should the applicant expect at the medical examination? So to give you a clear picture of what you would expect when you attended medical examination for the purpose of DV visa application. The applicant must show his or her passport or other photo identification, an appointment letter to the doctor during the medical examination. The medical examination will include medical history review, physical examination, chest x-ray, and blood tests for syphilis. The physical examination will at least include examination of the eyes, nose, throat, extremities, heart, lungs, abdomen, lymph nodes, and skin. In some countries, the panel physician will send the results to the United States Embassy or consulate directly. In other countries, the panel physician will give the applicant his or her medical exam results in a sealed envelope and an x-ray, which the applicant must bring to the interview. So they're saying this is not a complete physical examination. Its purpose is to screen for certain medical conditions relevant to the United States immigration law. So this is not like a full-blown checkup. It's not checking your genetic composition. It's not checking your things that you inherited medically. That is not the purpose of this medical examination. The panel physician is not required to examine you for any conditions except those the U.S. Public Health Service specifies for the U.S. immigration purposes, nor is the physician required to provide you with diagnosis or treatment, even though other matters related to your health might be discovered. This examination is not a substitute for a full physical examination, consultation, diagnosis, or treatment by your primary health care provider. So this does not count as your usual checkups. All right, even if they found something, they're not required or obligated to give you a diagnosis or to treat you. They're here just for the purpose of complying with the U.S. immigration law to obtain this physical examination so that they can determine whether they can grant you the visa to come to the United States. So medical conditions or history. What if the applicant had a positive TB skin test? Applicants with a previous positive skin test for TB should provide a certificate from the attending doctor giving the circumstances of the positive test result and including any treatment prescribed and its duration to the panel physician. If the applicant has ever been diagnosed with tuberculosis, the applicant must present a written certification signed by the attending doctor, providing that the applicant was adequately treated. The certificate must include dates and types of medications taken. Applicants who ever had an abnormal chest x-ray should borrow the last x-ray films taken and bring them to the panel physician. The actual films, not the typed reports, may be required to compare with the x-rays that will be taken at the medical examination. So they're not saying that if you had TB before, you are completely ruled out from coming to the United States. They just want to see documentation that TB is latent. It's not active. You're not actively sick, and you're not going to spread TB when you come to the United States. TB is a communicable disease. It can pose a health risk to people. So they are trying to make sure that even if you had been exposed before, have you been treated and do you have documentation to show that? Let's talk about syphilis. What if the applicant had syphilis? Applicants who have had syphilis must present the panel doctor with a written certificate signed by a doctor or public health official proving that the applicant was adequately treated. Same thing. Applicants who ever had a positive VDRL or other blood test for syphilis and were not treated must give a written explanation signed by the physician's doctor to the panel physician. So these are things that people could have had before, but it doesn't rule it out. They're just saying if you're not longer actively sick, they want to see treatment and proof of that. What if the applicant is pregnant? Must she have a chest X-ray? These are very good questions, and there are some questions that people would have, but they don't know the answers. Sometimes you don't know the answers until you get to that appointment. So it's good to know before you go so that you know what to do or what to expect. The US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, requires that women who are pregnant and required to have the medical examination in connection with the issuance of a US visa and are examined in a country currently in the 2007 TB technical instructions must have a chest X-ray examination conducted. Pregnant women will have to provide the panel with the consent to conduct the chest X-ray because of exposure to radiation. For the health of the women, the applicant and her unborn child, the CDC instructs panel physicians and labs to provide abdominal and pelvic protection with double layers, wrap around lead shields when they receive the chest radiograph. So, yes, they can get the chest X-rays, they have to consent, and they will get double protection because of the unborn baby. If the applicant has a history of harmful or violent behavior, so this is another medical condition that can be disqualifying. If they have psychological issues that can pose a risk to them and to the public. Let's read and see what they're saying. Applicants with any history of harmful or violent behavior resulting in injury to people or animals or harm to inanimate objects must provide information that will allow the panel to determine if the behavior was related to a psychiatric or medical problem or to drug or alcohol use. Harmful behavior includes attempted suicide or self-harm, no matter how minor in nature. So that's another condition that can be, can be a barrier to people qualifying to come to the United States. What if the applicant has been treated or hospitalized for psychiatric or medical illness or alcohol or drug abuse? So these people must present written certification, including diagnosis, duration, and treatment rendered, and prognosis. What are the chances of them getting better? What if the applicant is being treated for a chronic medical condition or is taking medication on a regular basis? So let's read and see what they say about that. So let's say you have a chronic diabetes or chronic kidney disease, or you have some other diseases, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all of that. Let's see what they say. They should be familiar, this category of people should be familiar with the medical conditions being treated and the names of the medications they are taking. Applicants unsure of their diagnoses must present a certificate describing the condition, the current treatment, and prognosis with a list of prescribed medications. So when you go to the appointment, just go with the list of your meds and what you're taking them for, how long you've been taking them. Can the applicant have a medical examination if she's having her menstrual period? And the answer to that is yes. It doesn't matter. It's just like if you have a doctor's appointment and you're still on your periods, you can just go. Unless it's contraindicated for another reason, but it's not for this one. So for physicians, can the applicant have his or her physician perform the medical examination? And the answer to that is no. The medical examination must be performed by an approved panel physician. Can the medical examination take place in the United States if the applicant is pursuing a visa application abroad while physically present in the United States? Oh, that's a good question. Visa medication examinations may not be conducted in the US. An alien pursuing a visa application abroad while physically present in the United States must have the medical examination conducted by a panel physician approved by the visa issuing embassy or consulate. So you have to get clearance. You have to get special permission, and they have to tell you where to go to get the exam. So let's talk about the vaccinations and what is required. Some of the vaccinations that are required. I know I got a lot of questions on TikTok for the list of the vaccinations that are required for the diversity visa. Okay. The following vaccinations are required for immigration purposes. So you can take a screenshot of this. TikTok, we are on travel.state.gov. If you want to go look at the list, it's available there under medical examinations, frequently asked questions. Hepatitis A, hepatitis B. Influenza, influenza type B. Measles, meningococcal, mumps, pneumococcal, pertussis, polio, rotavirus, rubella, tetanus and diphtheria toxoids, and varicella. So make sure you know those. If you've already received those vaccinations somewhere and you have records of that, so that's good. You can take that. Tetanus, I know is good for like 10 years. So if it's expired, they might have to give you another one. When I got my tetanus shot, it really hurt. It hurt for days, but it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. It's every 10 years, and every 10 years we get the tetanus shot. I think that's one of the most painful shots. The other ones, like the flu vaccine, the pneumonia vaccine, those ones, they don't hurt. That one really hurts for some reason. So just so you know, maybe it's just me, but that one really hurt, the tetanus one. All right, for the panel, physician technical instructions relating to the vaccination requirements, you can go to cdc.gov. What do I do if the applicant does not have a vaccination record? So the panel will work with the applicant to determine which vaccinations the applicant may need to meet vaccination requirements. What if there's a medical reason for the applicant not to receive a listed vaccination? There are certain waivers of the vaccination requirements that are available upon the recommendation of the panel physician. So don't just decide things for yourself. Make sure you are coordinating with the physician to see whether you can get a waiver, because if you don't complete your medical exam, if it's not up to par, if you don't have the waivers that are needed, that's if you didn't get the vaccinations, then that is grounds for them denying you the visa. Agnes is asking, what if the sickness, TB or other, was more than 15 years ago? They still want to see that you were treated. So if you have that documentation for treatment and that you're clear of TB, then I think that's what they need to see. Agnes, last question, I promise. Is it a given that if you have had visa issues in another country, you're completely disqualified from getting a US one? It depends on the grounds for the refusal and which country. It depends on the grounds, especially if it was either like Canada or the US, then they really want to know how come you are denied the visa, or what issues did you have? Is it criminal records? Is it something that is of grave significance? Like, why were you denied the visa? Some of these things you can explain your way. If you have documentation to get yourself out of that rat hole, then you can do it. But it depends, like I said, on what was the major reason for the issues that you're having. All right. All right. So in a nutshell, That's the medical. Those are the expectations when you go to your medical. It could be a little bit different in other countries. I took an example of Kenya. We talked about whether the medical exam is really required for the DV 2027 entry stage, and we said no. What the official sources are saying and what they haven't said. What they haven't said is that a medical exam is required for 2027 DV. If that, I don't see it happening, but if it ever becomes a thing, then we'll go and look at the official website and we'll see where it's going to be published and we'll share that. Why the DV 2027 entry period has not been announced, and today is November 1st. It could be multiple reasons. It could be because of the shutdown. It could be because maybe the shutdown is just making things worse, but I don't think that's the main reason for the DV entry not to be announced. I believe it's because of the introduction of the $1 rule fee, and they're trying to figure out how people are going to pay and getting their websites, to go in accordance with that. Updates for 2026 processing. I believe I've been getting lots of texts from people on TikTok letting me know that they have received their 2NLs and they have scheduled their interviews. Some of them are graceful enough to let me know, or they are I don't know what to call it. They trust me enough to give me their interview dates. I know most of the time we say that when you when you're doing these things, you have to keep it under wraps so that people don't make it, jinx things for you. But some people are very gracious enough to share with me their appointment dates to let me know that they have been given the 2NL and they have an appointment coming soon. So for everybody who has received their 2NL and they have an appointment coming soon, remember what is in your DS-260. We've talked about this. If you have a printout of it somewhere, if you're the one that completed it yourself, you should know what's over there already. If somebody else completed it for you, you need to know what is in there, because the questions are going to primarily come from the DS-260. So I appreciate you guys giving me updates, letting me know what's going on. I don't take that for granted. Let's see. Do you guys have any other questions apart from that? This was supposed to be a quick live, maybe an hour or so. Let me see on TikTok. All right. For those of you who are joining in, maybe later on you can replay the video on YouTube. I don't think TikTok has a replay thing to replay the live, but we've been talking about the medical requirement for DV entry. Lots of speculation about that. A lot of people with a lot of questions about that. Somebody says, "Can I ask you a question?" But they didn't ask the question, so I don't know. Can someone change host after getting a visa? Yeah, you can change the host. If your host is not going to host you, you need to find another one, because you need to get what you call it, an address, a place to go, but then you have to explain yourself at the port of entry. You need to know where you're going. You have to have a place where you're going. Is it okay to get all the vaccines at the same time? So I think they will look at what is really required at this time, depending on your age. They are very important ones that you can get, but it's good that if it's good for you to know that list. So if you don't have them, you can start getting them at your primary doctor. It might be even cheaper to do that. So the reason why they post them, publicly, is so that if you don't have them, you can go and get them from your primary physician at a cheap. Obviously, these US places are going to be more expensive, so Benito, you're asking, after getting in the United States, to change your host? Yeah, you can change your host. There's no reason you're not tied to one host. You're not tied to one host. You can change your host if it aligns with whatever it is that you're trying to do here, or what happened to your host. Why do you want to change the host? Is it like what happened? I don't know the circumstances. Okay. All right. Let's see on YouTube what's going on there. I'm from Kazakhstan. I was just wondering, how did the lottery process actually work back in the day, before the computers? I don't know if they used to select them by hand. That's a good question. How did the DV lottery work before, back in the day, before the computers and all that? Its travel ban will affect the DV 2026 winner. It depends from which country. So if you have another visa, there are some special considerations that you can still come from a banned country and still qualify for a US visa if you're using another passport. There are some people who have multiple passports. So if you have a passport for a country that is not banned, then you can use that, and that will be the special circumstance that allows you to come to the US even if your country has been banned. So, the countries that are on the travel ban, we talked about that the other day: Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen. The countries that are on the partial ban: Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. So what's the current case number for Africa? So there has not been any changes. So the visa bulletin stays for around 30 days. So it's published every month. So no changes have been made since the last time we came on air talking about the visa bulletin. So we'll wait for the other one between around the 10th, the 5th to the 15th, around there in the middle of the month. We'll see if the other one will be released, and we'll talk about that. We'll see whether it will have moved from 17,500 or is still the same. But for right now, it's the same as it was before. So Nairobi Embassy, I've been getting information up to like 9K. They've received their 2NLs for those on TikTok that are asking. So somebody from Afghanistan, Cairo, is saying it's a DV winner 2026. And this breaks my heart because this is an opportunity of a lifetime. One of the winners for DV 2026, unfortunately, our country got travel banned, and I don't have another country passport. What should I do? So the issue is that the likelihood of you getting a US visa during the interview is very low because of the travel ban. So, on a personal note, and this is just my opinion, I I don't know. I don't know what other special circumstances if you don't have another passport. I don't know what other thing that you can use to be able to qualify for that visa. But I will not tell you not to go for the visa interview because you never know. You never know. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. So if you have received, what is your case number? If you have received your 2NL and you get an appointment schedule, I will still go. I will still go. And I know the money is non-refundable, but you never know. You never know. It's very, very unfortunate. Can't find the documentation for treatment from 15 years ago. Can I be screened for the illness? You can go to your primary doctor and have them write you that. There's a form here we use here in the US. I don't know whether it applies back home. But if you go to your primary doctor to do that screening and to write to say that you do not have symptoms or you're free from TB, you're not actively sick, then I think that will work. Case number 14K, Islamabad Embassy. Yeah, like I said, I would not advise you not to go. I'm just letting you know that the likelihood of you being denied the visa is higher than the other countries if you don't have another passport or another travel document from a country that is not banned. Very, very unfortunate. Okay. Let's see. What if they denied you a visa, Eugene 123, from UK and Canada? Is it affected? Does it affect your visa interview? Like I said earlier, somebody asked this a similar question, and it depends on the reasons for the denial. What was going on? What are the circumstances surrounding your denial? When is DV lottery starting? 2027. Abdi Fatah Ahmed. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Agnes, thank you. Thank you for watching, and thank you very much. Was there, Gracie, was there any updates to when it's coming out? No updates. No updates yet. No updates. No updates yet. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I would like to end this live here. Today is November 1st. And still no information about the DV entry for 2027. We were talking about whether a medical is required for the DV 2027 entry stage. And we talked about what the official sources are said about it and what they haven't said about it. We talked about the reasons why we think that the entry period has not been announced and what's going on with the 2026 processing. So if you have any other questions, then you can leave them in the comment section. And let's talk about, let's do a wild guess. I know we said we shouldn't speculate, but there's nothing left to do right now until they officially announce. What date do you think or suspect that they will announce the DV lottery? What dates? Put them down in the chats. What dates do you think that they will announce if you were to guess, what dates do you think they will announce the DV? Me, I'm thinking maybe towards the end of the month. I don't know. Maybe towards the end of the month. Somebody said 6th November. Somebody says November. It's already November. Somebody said mid-November. Remember that before the entry dates are actually open, they usually announce the dates like a few days before. So I'm thinking they will announce towards the end of November. Millie saying 6th November. What's going on 6th November? Is there something going on 6th November that we don't know about? Anyway, all we can do is speculate for now and just keep checking the website. As of today, the website has not opened yet. The portal hasn't opened. It's dvprogram.state.gov. And as we continue to wait, just make sure that you have your photos in check and you know the requirements for the photo. So I wish you all the best. I wish you a good weekend. I hope that those who are going for their interviews are preparing themselves. I wish you good luck. Keep us posted. Let us know how it's going. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, TikTok, for watching, and thank you, YouTube, for watching.